Well, you just got done taking a shower, and guess what? The shower head won't turn off. Even though you turned off your faucet, you think you turned it off all the way. And it might help a little bit, but you might still see several drops coming down out of your shower head. So today we're going to show you how to fix this. It's actually quite easy. There's two possible solutions here for you for the most part. And we'll show you the first one, the easiest one first that you can try, and then the one that requires a little bit more work. But we're going to show you how to do all of this without you having to hire a plumber. So I'm going to show you this costly mistake to avoid making so that you won't have any problems going forward with your cartridge. So sometimes you'll see the dripping coming out of the shower head like this, and then other times you might actually see it dripping out of the back of the handle, or you might even see a combination of the two. You might see it coming out of both ends. So now for this first fix, it's actually quite simple. The only tool you really need here will be actually a flathead screwdriver and a Phillips head screwdriver. And you see how the handle is a little loose here? So when you have a loose handle like this, all you have to do is tighten it down. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I don't like these things being in my way, so I usually will unscrew the hose for the shower arm and get it off of there and out of the way. Now, every single one of these shower handles, pretty much most of them that I've come across, you just pop the little hubcap in the middle here. So we're going to do that now. Now, people always ask me, do I have to shut off the water? Well, for doing this little fix, you probably don't, but if you feel safe doing it, you can do it. And this brings up a good point. Now is the time for you to find out where is your water shut off. You absolutely better know where it is, because if you run into an accident or something goes right here like this with water gushing, you need to know where it is. You don't want to be hunting all over the place and then calling the water department after a half hour and you can't find it and it's still gushing. That's going to cost you hundreds of dollars. Okay, so what we do is we take our flathead screwdriver and see this little plastic hubcap. You just want to try to pop it off. Find a way in there to get behind it, and you see how it pops right off like that. And then there's a little Phillips head screw right there. So we're going to take our Phillips head screwdriver and we're just going to try tightening it down. Okay, so now it's nice and rock solid. So that's why it wasn't shutting off before, because it wasn't getting a good grip on the valve. But now, if we try to close the valve, we make sure it's nice and tight now, it's still dripping, you see? So in this case, now we know we have to pull the cartridge out of here and go buy another one from Home Depot or Lowe's, wherever you get your cartridges from. And they're usually under $20, very cheap. Now, the thing is from here on in, now we do have to cut the water, because we're going to remove the handle here. And once you start unscrewing the sleeve here that secures that cartridge, if it's under full water pressure, it's going to go poof, and you're going to end up on one of those YouTube videos with the plumbing fails, everybody in the world laughing at you. So that's why from this point on now, we have to go and cut off the water. There's the cutoff for the entire house. And luckily, a few months back, this one was converted to a quarter-turn ball valve, which I really love. Then once the water's turned off, I like to open up any faucets close by and drain any of the remaining water out of the system there. Because when you pull out your shower cartridge, you don't want to be shot in the face with a whole bunch of water. Okay, so to get at the cartridge, we take our Phillips head screwdriver and we'll go ahead and re-loosen that screw on there. And then the handle, for the most part, should just pop right off. It's just there to screw it into place for you. And then, now this is a valley, so it also helps before you do all of this, take a picture of it and upload it to like Google's Gemini 3 or to ChatGPT and ask it what faucet is you have if you don't know. I happen to know this one's a valley. Plus I've also changed it before years ago myself. There's some type of ring that you want to undo. If you can't get this to loosen by hand, you can use like a pair of channel locks or something. If you want, you can wrap it with blue tape first so you don't scratch it. I'm not as worried. These are fairly safe. These are more of a smoother jaw. And see, it doesn't take that much to loosen it anyway. So sometimes when you're changing out all of this apparatus, it's a great time to redo the whole faceplate and get a new plastic handle if yours turned yellow and all of that. So this is what's actually securing it on there. That's why it threads in place, see? And this is our cartridge in here. Now it might be a little bit stuck, and if it's stuck, you can just use the pliers to kind of gently pry it out. And there might be a little bit of water in there that comes out. Oops. Wow, this guy was corroded through and everything. Okay, so since that part came off, then we can use needle nose to kind of get in there. So that pulled out the gaskets. Try to pull out the whole cartridge. It's really stuck in there. It doesn't want to come out too good. So you want to get a good grip on it. There we go. Out it came. So then you can take this, the entire cartridge and everything, back to Home Depot. And you know, in this particular case, we know it's a Valley. Now, if you had a Moen, there would be a little clip right here on the top, a little metal clip, and we would usually squeeze that clip and pull it straight up like that. That's the retaining clip that's holding in the Moen types. And I have a separate video for that I'll link to at the end of this video. See, there it is, disintegrated. It basically just broke apart trying to pull it out because it was slightly stuck. It wasn't like completely stuck, but sometimes if you have to use enough brute force to pull out your cartridge, it will disintegrate. So here is the cartridge now sitting on the counter. And this is what you want to take to Home Depot or Lowe's with you, or wherever you're going to buy your new cartridge. So after I uploaded the picture here to Gemini 3, it tells you this is absolutely a Valley single handle faucet cartridge, specifically the Valley VP 1965 BG blah blah blah. So you can take this to Home Depot and see if they have it, and then make absolutely sure that the one you get looks exactly like this. Sometimes when it sees your picture, it may not see everything correctly, or maybe you didn't give it a good enough angle and it guessed another one. But that's why, if you can, you want to take this with you and leave the water shut off while you're gone. Okay, now the Home Depot is on the plumbing aisle there where you're getting these cartridges. They have a notebook with photographs from all of the known manufacturers. And there's the Valley, as you can see right there in the book. So we just want to match this up and make sure these are all actual size. Make sure that it's the correct one. And then sometimes there's Danco replacements there that you want to pick out. Okay, and so here's the problem. So even though this one matches and it's an exact fit, so's this other one on the previous page. And it has to do with the function inside of the diverter. And so that's why you really need to know between these two which one you need. So you can ask your AI, and hopefully it gives you the correct answer. And it says to stay away from this one because it has some kind of a special kitchen diverter for the kitchen faucets with the spray head type thing. And so this one doesn't have the kitchen faucet spray head. And I guess there's a check valve in the other one that is not present in this one. That check valve will interfere with this, so you want to make sure to get this one. Now, Home Depot in the stores doesn't carry this in store anymore, so I had to order them online from their website. So you see at the back end of the valve, you see those two holes there? On some shower cartridges, there's going to be 2 springs and 2 black plastic caps that go in there and seal the springs into those 2 holes. This particular one doesn't have that because the 2 O-rings on the back of the cartridge will mate up against that and form your seal. That's why it's also important to put your silicone grease on there. But you need to know about this because if there are springs in there, chances are that might be one of the reasons why you had a leak, because maybe the caps got kind of worn down a bit. And it's always a good idea, if your valve accepts the springs, to replace those springs and replace those caps. And you see how our brass is nice and clean back in there? You want to make sure yours looks like that too. If it's all black and gunky and gooey, you'll want to clean it first. But other than that, if you don't have that, then you're ready to install your cartridge. See, this is a 35-year-old cartridge, and so Home Depot doesn't only stock these older cartridges. You have to get them online from their website. So that's what I did. I ordered 2 that are coming next week. So I had to stop working for the day, and today's a new day. And so I was able to get to Ace, and they had one there in our entire area. So I was able to capitalize on it. They had exactly 1 in stock. And now as we install this, I'm going to show you a couple of errors that the builders always do. The plumbers, a lot of them don't even do it right. Most plumbers, believe it or not, do not know this. Why is it that you and I know this, but the plumbers don't? So I'm going to show you this costly mistake to avoid making so that you won't have any problems going forward with your cartridge. Yeah, so even though that was called a Valley V1964, this right here is modeled after the Danco VA4, which is the direct replacement for it. So here, I'll put the link below for this part from Ace, and also the parts that I ordered from Home Depot, because they're both the same. They're all interchangeable with each other. Now these O-rings here are made to go right into the back of the cartridge. And you'll see they insert right where there's a little cutout, a mortise, a round shaped mortise. See, these seat right down inside those mortises. Then when you put the cartridge back into the valve in the wall, these two right here will mate up against the two holes that are in the back of your valve. Now, here's the mistake that all the plumbers make. The mistake that all the plumbers make is they just throw this back in the wall and call it a day. And you know the mistake they made? They didn't put silicone grease on the O-rings and on the seals here. So wherever you see black rubber, and if you see any other area that can get caught on something, you put some of the silicone grease as well. So right on this plastic notch right there, see that notch? Where that's going to attach, that sort of locks it in place on the front of the valve when you put it back in the wall. You want to have some there. If you want to even put it on the body all around, that's fine too. Because the idea is so that the next time you have to pull this out of the wall, it will come out already very easy without breaking apart. The Moens are absolutely notorious for that. And that's why you've seen I've had to put up other videos in the past on how to remove your stuck Moen cartridge when you can't get it out of the wall. Because originally when the builder first installed it, the plumbers who don't know what they're doing didn't put any kind of silicone lubricant on there. And then years and years of water going through here, it calcifies and it solidifies and it becomes like a cement. So this is what any plumber that is worth their weight in gold does. They use a tube of silicone grease, as you see right here. Be very careful. Make sure you only buy a tube that says silicone grease. If you see anything that says the word sealant or thread sealant, that is not the same thing. You do not want to get that. That's like a glue. So here's what you do. You dab a little bit on your finger like this. See there? And you just rub it right on the black O-rings. That'll help give a nice good seal against that back wall. I'm going to take another dab of it on my finger, and I'm going to apply it to the O-ring, both of them, all the way around. And I'm going to take another dab and apply it to this other O-ring all the way around. See, it's because they don't want to take the extra 120 seconds that it takes to do this. Because a lot of these contractors, especially the plumbing contractors, they don't send the guy who has the master's license, who knows this kind of stuff. They send the lowest paid little plebes who are earning probably the minimum amount they could pay, and they have the least amount of knowledge and the least amount of motivation. And so they often leave this step out. But it's actually a very crucial step. And it doesn't affect them any, it affects you years later when you try to pull out your cartridge and it doesn't want to come out. And if you're wondering why are we taking so long and dwelling on this, this is why. It's that important. If you're looking for a 2-minute video, you can go to Home Depot and look at their 2-minute videos that don't tell you about this kind of stuff. Okay, so then you just insert your cartridge, make sure it goes all the way back, and then this one has a notch that aligns up into this notched out part on top of the collar. See, there's a notched mortise there. And so you can then insert and push your cartridge all the way back into the back there. See how that goes inside the notched area there? That's what you're looking for. That's the fit you need. It also makes sure that your cartridge is aligned properly so that the hot water and the cold water, those ports back in there, line up. Okay, so now we're going to put the collar on, and then remember, this is the most important part. This is the bonnet that screws on. Before I put the bonnet back on there, I always like to make sure I get those threads with some silicone grease as well, because sometimes these get a little tight on there from years of water flowing inside them. And don't be shy. You want to load up those metal threads there with this silicone grease. And it will also help it glide on better too. I like to put it on a little bit on both ends there, just to make sure we got a good, healthy amount of it. See, it goes on super smooth then. Before it was kind of tight even doing it with my hand. And you go hand tighten all the way to the end. And then I'm just going to go reasonably tight without overdoing it and without scratching the material. Remember, sometimes, like in this is very rugged anyway, and it's old, and we're going to remodel one day with this soon. But if you're worried about scratching this, you can always put blue tape on it first. You could also use the other smoother type of adjustable pliers that don't have these teeth. Okay, now we'll put the handle back on with the Phillips head screw. And remember, don't leave it loose. If this handle is not completely tightened down, it won't get the best grip on it, but make sure you don't over tighten it because you don't want to crack the plastic either. So test all your directions that you know it's supposed to work in. Don't forget to put your cap in. The cap goes right back on. Make sure red is on the left, blue is on the right. And by the way, this is another way you can tell that's a valley because it sort of forms that V. Let's go turn the water back on. Before you turn on the water, you don't want to just gush it back in. What you want to do is do it over several seconds. And the reason why you want to do it this way is because if you have the plastic CPVC pipes, or if you have the plastic gray polybutylene pipes, you don't want to have a huge inrush pressure of water because it can break those fragile connections. So that's something you want to avoid by just gently letting the water back on, just like you saw me do it here. Now I'm screwing the handheld shower hose back on because they get in the way. Okay, so we're ready to test it out. And by the way, there's no leaks. The leak is gone and there's no drips. It's just perfect right now. It's completely sealed off. And there you go. So when you test it, you want to wait for all of the air to come out of it like you're hearing. And then make sure you test the hot and cold and make sure it works. I noticed it doesn't take as much force to move it up and down and turn it on and off as it did before. It's just smooth as silk. It's like butter. So I'll put a link down below for you in the video description. Also, you might see a QR code here somewhere on your screen if you're watching it on the TV, where you can just photograph it with your phone and link directly to it. And I got to tell you something else too. Having this Ryobi area light like this is one of the best investments I have ever bought, ever, because this thing is so useful, especially in tight areas. So like here, when you have to work underneath the vanities, I usually set this off in the corner. That way it's nice and bright inside there. These are the best things in the world, and they just run off the regular Ryobi batteries. So I'll put a link to this in the video description for you as well. But man, any type of area light like this that you can get, and it's super bright. It's got 3 different levels of brightness there, including off. And just a reminder, if your cartridge was a Moen cartridge and you're having a hard time getting it to come out, that's a huge problem with the Moen cartridges. I have another video for that I want you to take a look at over here. Thousands of people over the years stuck. They can't get it out no matter what. Even using the Moen tool, nothing works. And then make sure you check out this other video here, the common mistakes that people make when they're trying to change their kitchen drain in your kitchen sink, and why is it still leaking afterwards. The one main mistake every single person makes that causes the leak. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see all of you on the next one.